As most of us grow up, we imagine that fairy tale romance with the storybook wedding.
Our eyes met, and it felt like kismet.
He seemed like such a nice person to me.
We fall in love, get married, buy a house, start a family, and hope to live happily ever after.
Not one single person expects it to end in divorce.
Why are we in debt? And $500,000?
You cannot tell me what to do.
You wanted to punish me.
that,
You did it. You got it, dude. We're getting divorced.
because you punished me for all these times
Are you
that I was
insane?
trying.
Mediation in a divorce is when a couple decides they can't stay married anymore, but they want to find a saner way to come apart.
On this episode of Divorce Story, two couples, David and Dodie Hoffman of Valencia, California, fight their way through mediation so that they can finally be divorced. For the Hoffmans, everything is on the line, with accusations of infidelity being leveled against David.
You're going to give up me for him.
Emotions are at an all-time high for this once happily married couple.
I'm not going to sit here and listen to this.
Will either couple be able to come to terms and gain their freedom?
Can't be done. So what are we doing?
Or will they find themselves stuck in hopeless marriages that nobody can get out of?
I'm Diana Mercer, and I'm at the home of Dodie O'Donnell and David Hoffman to mediate their divorce. When I first walked into Dodie and David's house, I had never met them before. All I knew was that they had been married for 12 years, they were trying to get divorced, and they had lawyers and they had been to court, but that didn't seem to be working for them.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Diana. You must be Dodie?
Yes, I'm Dodie.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
They were looking for a new way to look at their situation in hopes of reaching an agreement.
I'm David. I'm here for my first divorce mediation. I moved out of the house a year ago when Dodie and I separated. It feels very odd to be a guest in what used to be my own home.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Diana.
Hi, David Hoffman.
Hi, David. Nice to meet you. The two biggest issues are how much money he has to pay her to settle and the custody agreement. They have a tentative agreement in place, but David isn't very happy with it. Have you set spousal support yet?
Sorta.
It's in the agreement.
You know what, I'm gonna put it on the agenda anyway.
Okay.
And then your house, which I
up
see
for
is
sale?
up for sale.
Right,
My guess is you've got some cars,
2 cars.
bank accounts, you have
The
savings
financial-
like stocks, bonds, mutual.
took it
Those
all
are
in
those have been split. I didn't
Yeah,
take
it was
everything.
gone.
Those have been split. We didn't have a savings account.
You did.
We did not.
Right off the bat, I could tell these two had lost complete respect for each other.
I met Dodie at a Chinese food restaurant.
I was in my 30s. Early 30s when I met him.
So as I was walking up, and our eyes met, and it felt like kismet.
And really, he seemed like such a nice person to me. I can actually see him walking in. Not that I fell in love with him or anything. Nothing like that.
I met her in 1991, and we got married in February 1995.
So he starts to get all mushy, and he gets on one knee and asks me to marry him. And I said to him, I can't believe you're asking me this, and I'm flattered, but I'll get back to you. I never technically said yes, but yes, we had a very nice wedding.
I loved our wedding. We planned it for a long time, and there were a lot of fights over getting it finalized, but I really loved it.
We went on a honeymoon, but I never said it. But I did say I do.
She had a very, very hard pregnancy, but it resulted in Ashton, who was 9 pounds, 10.4 ounces, and was just beautiful. Peyton, our second child, came about 4.5 years ago. In the same way I loved Ashton more and more every day, I love Peyton more and more every day.
And we have 2 beautiful children now.
You did a good job. But I didn't realize it was a fish. That's cool.
After being married for almost 9 years, that was the stage where everything really started to fall apart. At that point, we went to counseling. We did a few sessions and we stopped. I would say our marriage broke down for, sort of emotional reasons that we didn't really support each other.
Our marriage ended because he's having a relationship with another person.
As I found out, there was a very specific reason why emotions were running so high between David and Dodie.
He broke our vow. He's in love. These two people love each other. They call all the time. He's obsessed with this man.
Do you think there's something going on?
Think? I know there is. I know there is. He went to go work. He left his laptop here and his cell phone. Of course I broke into it. And that's when I heard the I love yous.
So you think it's a sexual or romantic relationship?
I have never asked my husband
to...
if he has had sex with this man. I don't want to know if he has had sex with this man. I know it's not a normal relationship. I know that he gave up his family for this man. I know that he has told me if I could just tolerate Peter in his life, that we would work out. If I could just let the Peter thing go.
It's craziness. He's a client. We're friendly. But there's nothing going on, nothing weird going on.
When I would sit down and say, are you crazy? We have these two beautiful children. I'm not saying I'm Queen of Sheba, but you're gonna give up me for him. I mean, I had been on my knees where I had begged him not to. This man, for the whole time we were together, was my deepest, dearest, best friend. I was committed, bonded, believed him. I would have fought to the death for him. I don't even know where my David is. My David would not do this to me, my children. My David was my husband, my friend, my family, and I would have stood by it. So to sit here and tell me about your honor.
To sit here and tell me I don't have it is ridiculous.
Dodie really just blurted out that she felt that David was having an affair with a client who happened to be a man, and that this person had really come between them in a lot of different ways.
I keep my word, and that's why I kept my client, is because my integrity is very important to me.
He's a con artist.
And to have it
David,
challenged so
divorce,
much,
which means we're not
drives
keeping
me
our
nuts.
word. That's why we are here. We are breaking the biggest promise that we made to ourselves and to our children. By the very definition that we are here getting a divorce proves that we are liars.
Who filed for divorce?
I filed for divorce because I want to get divorced from you.
Okay,
Because
good.
I don't want to keep my word. I broke my vow. I do not want to be with you.
Good.
I do not want to be a member of your family. I have heard Peter tell him that he loves him. And I have
We're not
said,
going to reach settlement. This is not going to go anywhere. He said he loves me. He likes me. He said he loves me because I represent him and I continue to stand up for my principles and his principles. There's nothing that goes on. When I fly to Florida, I take a red eye and I come back right after the hearing. It's craziness. I can tell him to take a hike at any time and I'm fine.
Then why did you open up the credit cards? Why are we in debt?
His biggest client, Peter, owes him over $400,000 in unpaid legal fees. As you might imagine, this has led to a lot of debt for David and Dodie.
We wouldn't be in debt if it wasn't for this man, and you continue to have him.
Because I believed in a cause, and because I wanted you to see that you cannot tell me what to do.
You
and
wanted
once
to
you
punish
did that,
me. You did it. You got it, dude. We're getting divorced.
because you punished me for all these times
Are you
that I was
insane?
trying to do something, and you pulled me back and said it's our marriage or not, or you made it.
Go talk to your parents about it and grow up. Yes, I'm divorcing you over money and a lie. Yes. $400,000 is too much for me to bear. I can't sleep at night. Yes, that's why I'm divorcing you. I'm divorcing you because of the relationship you have with Peter. Yes, that's why I'm divorcing you. So can we do it and can we end it?
Sure. I've got a 2-bedroom apartment now. I used to live in a huge house, and I really loved living there, but I like living here too. This is my living room. Dining room's over here.
This is my kitchen. These are my two girls. They're 9 and 4 now. This is Ashton and Peyton. I bought the beds pre-owned and the furniture, and I painted it all white so it would look like their room at their current home or at our old home.
I'm Diana Mercer. I'm a divorce mediator. This is my second session with Dodie and David Hoffman. What's at stake for the Hoffmans is how much money will David have to pay Dodie to settle this divorce, as well as the custody issues. Anything else for the agenda for today? Before we could come to a number on their settlement, we have to address their enormous debt.
We wouldn't have had this debt if he would be collecting from his clients that owe us over $400,000 at the time of separation. That's why there's this debt.
Peter, the client who caused this debt, is the same man that Dodie thinks David is having the affair with.
David opened up all these credit cards to pay his secretary and all his firm and the mortgage, and to not let me know that he was continuing with this client. He took out loans, and I still don't know the sums. They're outrageous amounts of sums, over hundreds of thousands of dollars from his parents. I knew nothing about it. I will not incur the debt from this client.
Let me make sure I've got it here. You don't feel like you should have to pay half of the community property debt, even though fully understanding that's probably what the law says.
I consider that community property debt his practice debt. I'm paying for his practice that I get no benefit from it. I'm in the hole from it.
I hear you.
Yeah, so that I don't see that as community property debt. I see that as his practice debt. I'm not gonna give David a break. He incurred the debt. He's gonna have to buck up and pay them off.
I'll take all the debt and I'll take all the equity in the house. I mean, if I'm paying off all the debt, I should get the house.
I don't know, but mediation's gonna stop unless he stops saying what he just said. I mean, he's trying to screw me over. He's always held money over me, and no. And I'm not gonna be threatened anymore about, I'm gonna take it all, and he knows that I'm afraid of money, and that's his card to play to keep it going. So if that's what he's gonna do and everything, then this is it, it's over. So either he meant what he said or he didn't, or he's just saying that to be a jerk.
There may be another way to skin this apple, which is if there's an amount of money you want to leave with, we can try to figure out what would give that Dodie that amount of money.
Okay, that's actually a good thing, is because I've always been afraid, and this happened after our last talk. My bank does not accept his checks.
Dodie jumped at the idea of a lump sum because she doesn't trust David when it comes to making payments.
That can't be true.
What I have to do is he gives me a check. I have to schlep down to his bank, be fingerprinted, and sometimes even take my picture. David always writes bad checks. I have no confidence in this man, and I have 2 children to support. I have myself to support. I want my large lump sum now. I am not going to accept checks from him anymore. I want a cashier's check because I'm sick and tired of going down to the bank, and even though it's not my money, he still is technically my husband, and they'd say, oh, it bounced again, Mrs. Hoffman. I gotta go, oh, okay, and I gotta walk away.
Well, but there's a solution.
It has happened, and I do get fingerprinted, and then my picture does get taken.
Hold on.
I think we should take a break. I'm taking a break.
I am not going to accept checks from him anymore. I want a cashier's check.
Hold on.
I think we should take a break. I'm taking a break.
David and Dodie Hoffman are in the midst of a divorce mediation. When Dodie accused David of writing bad checks, David stormed out. Now I'm going to have to speak with them separately. You okay?
I'm fine. I'm just not going to listen to crap about bounced checks. It was one bounced check. I admitted it. I admitted it 2 weeks ago, and I made good on the check the next day.
Okay, so can I talk to her for a minute?
Sure, you can
Okay.
tell her everything we said.
Okay. Okay, so where are you at with this process?
I'm gonna tell you what I want.
Okay. Good. Does that include a spousal support buyout?
That's the whole shebang.
Dodie's looking for a buyout, one lump sum. Now I just need to see if I can sell that to David. Okay, so is it time to get this over with?
I'm ready to get this over with. I just hope I don't choke on the number, that's all.
Well, you will. Yeah, totally you will.
Okay.
What she's looking at is a buyout of $350, which buys out the spousal support, child support of $2,000. She's also asking that there's like a $40,000 student loan. That was also in the request.
No, there's no way I could agree to that. If I'm keeping the debt, too, we hadn't talked about that.
But you keep your practice.
It's great that I get to keep the practice, because eventually my law practice is going to have a lot of value. But if I'm assuming all of the debt, then Dodie has to give me a break on the initial buyout amount.
David's counteroffer is $260,000, one lump sum, $2,000 a month child support. David keeps his law practice and he pays all of the debt. To do this, he'll have to refinance the house, which means that he's bought it. Now, let's see what Dodie says.
I cannot make it with that amount, then I gotta pay back my student loan, then I gotta buy a car, and I gotta buy a house. I mean, what, I have dime left to my name? I can't live.
Would you consider something in the middle?
No. I'm not kidding. Just like I'm not paying the debt that man incurred, I will never do it. I'll go to the poorhouse.
So what I'm looking for from you is a counteroffer.
Okay?
There you are. She's still at $350, but she'll pay the student loan.
That doesn't make any sense.
I'm already willing to assume all of the debt. I don't understand why Dodie won't budge on the lump sum.
If you've got some more stamina, I think maybe let's go back in and try to work on it some more.
I just can't do more, that's all.
David looked like he was ready to throw in the towel. I think, though, if I can get them to continue the conversation face to face, we might be able to hammer out a deal.
If you can't do it, David, just quit the bullshit and say you can't do it.
I've said that. So.
Well, then it can't be done.
The request is $300,000 in cash.
He just said he can't do it.
I understand. The $300,000 in cash does or does not include the student loan.
I don't know. It doesn't even matter because he can't do it. So what does it matter? So we're talking about
I can't pay it
something.
off in a lump sum, but I could perhaps take over the payments.
He won't.
Make the monthly payments, right?
He won't.
So if you don't think I won't, this can all
40,000.
fall apart.
So then
that's
let's-
fine. We're not going to get any further today.
I agree,
You can meet
but
with
hold on.
Dodie and talk to
No,
her.
you know, this
and
is how it
next
goes.
time we'll
My
meet another session.
time is shit and his is worth something. We haven't.
If you don't want to meet, you don't have to. I didn't say your time is shit.
I think it's worth it to get the offer down on a piece of paper.
He cannot do it. Can't be done. So what are we doing?
I'm David Hoffman. Unfortunately, after 12 years, my wife and I are in the middle of a divorce.
Right now, we have an agreement that I see the girls every other weekend and on Wednesday nights.
Now that. What's the type of rat I'm talking
And then you just turn with your shoulder and keep your head steady.
about? Okay, Lucas, otherwise.
As it is, I only spend about 20% of the time with the kids. I'm willing to give up virtually anything to get more time with them.
Right, Chief.
That's what's most important to me.
Goodbye, Chief.
Every time I take the kids back to the house and I have to say goodbye, it really hurts because I know it's going to be another week before I see them.
This is David and Dodie's third mediation session. In the last session, I wasn't able to get an agreement from Dodie and David on the financial issues. So today, we're going to focus on the custody issues and hopefully we can get an agreement on those.
But the whole point of this to me is to give up more financially than the current settlement.
Who are you talking
and
about,
get-
me?
No, I'm talking about me, is to give up more financially on the current settlement and then to get more custody time. I was just looking for every other Monday night on the weekends or following the weekends that I don't have the kids.
Is that something you'd consider?
I'm not going to put it in writing. The way it stands now, I would sort of assume that he's wanting them on Mondays, which I'm not opposed to. Now, that doesn't mean you call me up at 5:05 and say, I want the kids.
When we first started, I would call you up maybe a day before. Sometimes, I think once or twice I called you up maybe in the morning or during that day. Then Dodie said, I want more notice. I said, okay. So I called her 2 days before. That wasn't enough.
That.
And
in all
at
honesty,
some point,
it could be
it
because
was
we were going through, I don't know, it was the
annoying
haze.
to keep
I was
getting that
running around.
response.
I don't know, that he could be right. I don't think that I did that.
Dodie is very reluctant to talk about the parenting plan. I think this is because of the job and the role that she has created for herself as a mother. If she allows David to take time away from that, she also loses her identity as a parent.
If my children want to see their father, or if he has called me up and says he wanted to see them, that I would never have said no.
Forgive me if I'm too impatient on this, but are you willing to put it in writing that I'd have Monday nights? If you're not, there isn't a point in going on, in my view.
He's very sneaky. His mind's going. He's got another agenda going on. I'm not going to change the custody thing in writing.
You have never called me up once and said, I miss the girls, I want to talk to them. I've let you,
That is
let
not
you speak to.
true.
When have you ever called me up and said you want to be with them?
I
and
did
you're not with
at
them?
the beginning a bunch.
I cannot read what's in your mind, and that if you want more time, I've given you plenty of suggestions about how to spend more
Well,
time
I'm
with the
telling
children.
you now, so you don't have to read my mind, okay?
I can't believe Dodie won't put the Mondays in writing. It's just 2 more days a month. It's crazy not to.
If you didn't
Well, you
get
heard
it,
what I
I
said
want
about Monday.
to have
So you
more time
heard
with the
what I
children.
said
I think it would be
about Monday.
helpful for them. It's not about me. I think it would
That
be
I
helpful
disagree
for
with.
them.
I think it is about you, which is
If
fine.
it were about me, I would have gone for 50-50 custody, and this wouldn't be an issue.
Well, you wouldn't have gotten it.
I think we've gone far enough today. Thanks.
But if she can find a solution,
No,
you're open
we've
to
gone
doing
far
that?
enough today. Thank you.
Well,
I'm not going to sit here and listen to this.
all right, well, I'm coming with you. Hang on, I'll be back. The most important thing for him is to spend time with his children. And unless he can get that in writing, in a court order, there is no guarantee that that will happen.
I think he wants it in writing because he's an anal SOB, and he sees it very differently.
I have to do anything. The truth is, he'll have to go, get a judge to tell me to do it, and even when the judge says it, I don't have to do it.
I don't really want to sit through these sessions. I feel very beat up in them. Every issue is an emotionally charged issue. Oh no, it's got to be this way. It's just because of this and this and this. To me, a rational person would jump on, okay, so you want every other Monday night, that's it, and I get 260 grand? Sure.
David and Dodie are at a crossroads right now. I can't get them to agree on their finances, and I can't get them to agree on custody. I am beginning to wonder if I can get them to agree on anything.
I knew we were not going to get all of the details ironed out on the agreement. It just takes too long to get through an issue. I felt like I would probably just say, the heck with it, no more mediation, I'm not doing anything. Present me a deal, and if I like it, I'll sign. If I don't like it, then we'll get what we have enforced.
I don't think we're making any progress. I mean, nothing's done. Nothing's been done. I'd like it to be done.
Okay, here, wait. Let me fluff.
Son, Holy Spirit. Even though I think this divorce is horrible and it's not going well, I've been through worse things. The way it stands now, I don't know what's going on. I don't even know if we are going to have another mediation.
Close your eyes.
Right now, I would not sit down and have mediation with him. It's a useless thing. And if he were to do what he did in the past 2 mediations, again,
I'm taking a break. I think we've gone far enough today. Thanks.
then I am done.
The process of mediation has been very difficult. I hope we'll be able to wrap it up in mediation, because I hope that we can wrap it up in a way where we're both inking a deal instead of the court settling something that one of us doesn't want or that both of us aren't quite comfortable with.
but I really don't know whether we'll get there or not.
Dodie and David got into the trouble they got into with their marriage over a period of like 14 years. You don't get out of that in 14 minutes. I hope that they have the courage to stay with this process because I think they're getting a lot out of it, even though they say that they're not. I think that the divorce story between Dodie and David is far from over.